Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your highlights review show. West Ham just been smashed 5-1 away in the Carabao Cup quarterfinal. Clueless, indefensible, disappointing, crap, awful. From the start, you knew this is what we were going to receive. You knew this is the whipped performance we were going to get because we had, I don't know, we were I can't. I need the guests to come on to have their say on it themselves. But it was a clueless performance from Moyes. It was a clueless performance from the players. Not a single player stepped up to the occasion today. Not one of them rewarded the fan base that made that effort to travel all the distance they did to show them that kind of effort. I said it at one point in the match day live. If you get beat 5-1, you need to get beat trying. But if you don't try, it becomes embarrassing and it's indefensible. And that's exactly what that performance was today. It was completely indefensible. How can you go to Liverpool, Anfield in a quarter final and do a low block and think that's acceptable then to come out with a performance like we've did today? It's really not. It's so disappointing to think that you're so close yet so far. You're a quarter final of the League Cup. We're West Ham. I get there's maybe some stuff going on in the background in terms of people not feeling well. I get that. I get that to a certain extent. But if you're going to rest players, which is what David Moyes said pre-game, then fucking rest them all. I'd rather see younger players out there fighting for the shirt to prove their worth, to prove what they're capable of doing. That's what Klopp's done. He's given Elliott a run out. He's given a young lad the run out. Curtis Jones dictated the play. Harvey Elliott dictated the play for Liverpool. What did West Ham do? We relied on the old school, and it wasn't working. We tried the low block. It wasn't working. We came out at half time. We're still only 1-0 down. We could have had a chance to get back into the game. We didn't make the substitutes. You've got a manager like Harry Redknapp in the crew behind the scenes, and he's saying himself, make the substitutions because what have we done? What have West Ham done? They've done absolutely nothing. So how have they justified that performance? They haven't. They've absolutely done fuck all to justify what they've given there. It is embarrassing. And I'm trying to weigh up. I feel like it's possibly more embarrassing than the Fulham game because the Fulham game we looked lackadaisical, right? And I'm not trying to justify that. There is no justification for the Fulham game. But there's no justification for that because it's a quarter fucking final. Oh my days, man. Oh my days. What an opportunity. Um yeah, yeah, really, really bad performance all round. Listen, I'm going to give you a chance to come on. Why not? Come and have your say. I'm just waiting on the guests coming in. So, come on, have your say. You don't have to come on in the visuals, etc. But you're more than capable to come on and have your say. Then definitely click the link I've just put in the chat and come on and have your say. Moyes in shambles, ridiculous game. Moyes got tactics wrong for sure. Just depressing, absolutely, because they're about to do the semi-final draw, and West Ham aren't in the draw, and it's ridiculous to think that this was the opportunity. Because when you look at the teams, Middlesbrough, Chelsea, and Fulham, what an opportunity, man! Fulham are getting fucking semi-final football. Do you know what I mean? Opportunity, and we just didn't take it. But hey, we got Man United next. We're going to win, and then it can't be worse than them. Moyes, you dinosaur, just resign, please. You're so negative. Linda says, bad game. Usual lemon fest begins. This is my sister's account. Moyes out, no effort. Honestly, Moyes out. Time to hit the booze and erase this from the memory. Moyes team talk, go, run around. Lads, I don't really know what the tactics were in this game, if I'm being honest with you, because there wasn't any tactics in this game. That's the only way I could say it. The steam was taken out of the team from the off. We went there defensively minded. We never went there to take the game to them whatsoever. Such a shame. Such a shame. It's such a shame for the 6,000 West Ham fans that travelled. I would have taken Freddie to that game today. And you know what? I sat with Freddie at the first half, and Freddie said to me, "That player Elliott, Dad, that player Elliott, he's trying to score. He's trying to score. Freddie's 7," and he picked that out. So, and all the commentators, as much as it's frustrating to hear the negative about our club, it's so true. What have we done? What have we done in this game? What have we done in this game? So disappointing. To, like, let's all the West Ham fans down. We must have got a bug in the camp again. Moyes has yet again proved how far off the modern game he really is. Embarrassing. We were playing like Southampton. Unforgivable result. Moyes out tonight. West Ham are massive. I mean, that's fine, mate. We still knocked you out. Whatever you want to say. Moyes' blunder in his team selection has cost us once again. Arsenal shush. You all realise Moyes won't be doing the post-match interview. He's not obliged to in the League Cup. No, he's not. I can't, mate. Defend that, Anton. If you can, Clueless Moyes should be booted out. No one can defend that, mate. This is why Moyes has to go. Set up us to fail. No bollocks. Cy Carter, spineless, embarrassing, pathetic, amateurish. What a wasted opportunity. We didn't try to put no effort in. That's why I didn't watch it. Adios from Monday. 3 easy games coming up. Man United, Arsenal, Brighton. Obviously, going to be a tough gig. I don't know what I was thinking really about tonight's game. I think I knew from the starting lineup. I think we all knew from the starting lineup this is what we receive. But it's obviously not what we got. Right, I've got a guest coming on. So it's Dougy. Dougy, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, bruv, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. How you doing? You all right? Well, you're not all
right. Super melancholy, but never mind, eh?
Yeah. Well, talk to me, mate. What's your kind of thoughts?
What we're going to get now is the usual thing. We'll get this tsunami of the Moyes out lemmings going. Conkers. We'll get that for a while, and then we'll realise we just played Liverpool. When was the last time we beat them? How many? Once in 55 times at Anfield. When was the last time we won the League Cup?
I know.
How did we do in 1996 in the League Cup? Do you remember? Do you remember how we did in 2004? Do you remember how we did in 2013? No, you don't. So, yeah, it was shit. It's obviously shit. Yeah. The point isn't if it was shit or if it wasn't shit. It was clearly shit. The point is just to pile on and do the normal Moyes out. It's just embarrassing. We used to have class as a fan base. We used to have a bit of, perspective. We used to be able to, look at these things. Social media has ruined being a football fan in a way. I'm addicted to it. I can't help it. I'm saying that as a hypocrite. But at the same time, I'm addicted. But all you get is all this usual stuff. Look where we are. We're, 1 point behind Man United who we play at the weekend. That is more important. Sorry, it is. We're in the quarterfinals of Europa now. So we don't have to play again till, then we're obviously knackered. Look at the Fulham result, even though Fulham are flying. And again, they all piled on with that one as well. But in actual fact, it was bad. Have a cup of tea, roll yourself something nice, and get to grips with reality.
You certainly will need to roll yourself something nice. Diggy, I mean, listen, I'm assuming you've watched the channel. I'm assuming you've heard my opinion. I get kind of dragged into this whole Moyes out, Moyes in.
It's not just you, mate. I mean, you've generally been all right, but it's just now it's like infecting everyone. It's got to the point where I've unsubscribed from Claret and Booze. Hammer's chat are testing me. Well, Gonzo is. It's just, there's too much. It's just so reactionary and tabloid. The level of teenage intelligence about it, just like, oh no, and be a caveman. It's just like, do you remember? I don't know about anyone else. I mean, yeah, if you've only supported West Ham for a few years because you're a kid, fair enough. Anyone else who's been with us for all these years, look at the reality. This is probably 3 European campaigns. I mean, I don't like David Moyes' football. I never have done, but after COVID, he is just, let him be. He's earned his failure, if that's what it is. But, we know we don't like the football. It's obvious. What do you think? We're going to get a new manager and then win like Barcelona every week? Of course we're not. It's not going to happen. It'll be the same moan. No, the football's not. We're not playing pretty football and winning every game. No, we're not, because we're not fucking Man City or Real Madrid. Wake up, And
I think my kind of conversation about this, in particular, this game is, this conversation right now doesn't like in the chat, for example, and what you're saying doesn't need to be about Moyes out, Moyes in. It should be about the performance, which is we're in a quarterfinal. Like, if we just focus on that performance rather than starting debating about whether Moyes should.
No, it was shit. You could see as soon as the lineup came out, we were going to lose tonight. No question.
You're right.
But again, within the context of 55 games there and 1 win, within the context of Liverpool are flying at the moment anyway, even if they've left out a few key players, within everything, I mean, we could have played our best team. And then on Sunday or Saturday when we play Man U, everyone's going to be like, well, why haven't we got any? Because we've how many games in how many days have we played? We're stretching it to the very limit. And now with the virus as well, I mean, just, a little bit of reality, a little bit of cold, hard slab marble reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dougy, tonight's performance, though, I mean, low block, Anfield. I said during the game, I felt like you kind of don't mind, at least if you just take the game to them a little bit. Like you want to just take the fucking game
of course.
to them.
I've seen us play shit a million times, in crucial games and in boring games. That happens sometimes. And with that team, we obviously it would have been a fluke if we could have won it. If he changed it half time at 1 down and we'd come out full guns, maybe. But it wasn't that all night, and that's why we've never won the fucking Milk Cup, Carabao Cup, Coca-Cola Cup. Call it the big whatever Wankfest Cup you want. It doesn't,
Yeah. No,
it's not what we regularly do, is it? But what we don't regularly do is get into Europe every year. What we don't regularly do is like fight for top 6, and we're doing that. And it's like, yeah, the football isn't the prettiest, but you've got to, I mean, what is the point? Everyone piling on all this shit, like, I hope he gets cancer. I mean, where are these animals fucking living that think things like that about a manager who has earned our respect and support, I think.
Yeah, no, no. Listen, Dougy, I can see the frustration, and as much as I don't want the kind of chat to lead bit about Moyes in, Moyes out. I kind of want to discuss,
but you've seen the comments already. The only reason I've called is because I knew straight away, here it comes, the claret and booze gonzo pile on. I told you so, because I know loads about football. Well, yeah, you must do. But obviously David Moyes knows nothing about football, absolutely nothing, hasn't any experience that's relevant to managing a team, hasn't got us into 3 consecutive European competitions, hasn't got us fighting for Europe again this year, in the latter stages of the Europa again. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Dougy, I get your frustrations. I get everyone's frustrations. And as we all know, we're all entitled to our own opinions. Absolutely.
Of course. No, my only frustration is with this new generation of fan and the way these YouTube channels inflame this mob mentality, pile on. It's just like, go back to when I was a kid, John Lyle, and how he was treated before he went. People were ashamed of how he was treated at the end. And there's a reason, because you look back at him now, and what do you think? You think he was a fucking great manager for us. And so will David Moyes be viewed as one as well.
Yeah. Dougy, mate, thank you very much for coming on. I've got a few other people lined up, so
all right, well, good luck. Have a lovely Christmas, everyone.
Thank you, mate. Cheers, mate. Let me bring on Looky Boy. Where are you? There you are, mate. You all right? Fucking, I don't know why. Seeing nights like tonight, I don't know why I want to even do this shit, man. I don't know how people have the fucking energy at all. Like, I'm devastated. I'm gutted. I'm beyond whatever. I'm embarrassed. Listen, fuck, man. Like, I know people will go on and Dougy, right? But we all say we're all entitled to our own opinion. Look, we are. Me and you, sometimes put our thoughts out to the generational world of this is what we think, and then we have private chats, etc. But he's entitled to his own opinion, and there's some things I do agree with him on, and some things I maybe don't necessarily agree with him on. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to sit there and call him. I get the frustration from the modern day fan. I do. That does get to me. But then, the modern day fan in terms of airing your opinion on social media. But me and Luke, you've had this conversation before. Like I choose to do this. Therefore, the rough comes with the smooth. And I've been doing this for like 6 years. And what I've not had to do in 6 years is really test my resolve as a West Ham fan and be affected by a social media opinion, because my opinion is my opinion. But it's tough after tonight. And I don't want this to be about Moyes out and Moyes in. And I know there's people in the chat saying this isn't about Moyes out and Moyes in, but every 3 comments I see is Moyes in or Moyes out. So it is. It's always about that. What it's about is predominantly that was fucking shit, mate.
Yeah, look. As soon as we got Liverpool in a draw, I'd already, my mind was, it's been a nice run. It's a nice fight it lasted, but we ain't going to beat them. And it wasn't me thinking we weren't capable of beating them. It was the fact that I'm looking at a manager that was going to have to do something he's not done presume his entire managerial career, and it's beat one of the top 6 away from home. Because we've beaten Liverpool once in how many years, even with other managers and stuff like that. And we never really do it. For hook or by crook, they always beat us. And I'd resigned myself to a loss anyway. But there is a way you do it. There is a way you lose, and there is a way you go out. And tonight was I felt sorry for the fans that went. I felt sorry. My brother was one of the people that went tonight, and that's, I think you kind of go there with, a level of, you can't expect anything, if you get what I mean. Like, for us to go and win tonight would have been something special. Would have probably been, the way you do it when you go to Liverpool, you've got to be on it for 90 minutes. I'm not sure we really had that in us, but the team we put out tonight was, every part of me wanted to just go, oh, this is. I didn't even watch it really, because I thought he's thrown this. He's completely thrown. But I tweeted about it as well. There's a part of me that thinks, when you think that West Ham sometimes pulls that out of the bag and we do something we weren't expecting, and I was kind of hoping maybe it'd be another Tottenham game where we played awful for the first half, and the second half we come out and win it or something. But look, we lost to Fulham a week and a half ago, and we conceded 5 goals away from home. So at the minute, conceding 5 goals is a bit of a, it's a bit of a reoccurrence, which is I don't know what that says about us, to be fair. Because I'm not going to jump on. I tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to jump on the whole Moyes thing tonight, because I've been doing that. I've been doing that for ages. I've been fighting that corner for ages. And the first thing I will say is that for the last 2 games, I've praised Moyes to the hilt, because I believe that if you're a manager, you deserve praise when you get things right, and you deserve criticism when you get things wrong. To me, he got it flat out wrong tonight. But I think he wasn't bothered. I think I'm hoping that he's got a bigger picture in his mind, and he's thinking about Man United on Saturday and possibly future other games, because that's the only, not excuse, but that's the only kind of reason that you can say, okay, but we've got a bloody win on Saturday. Not only have you got to win, we've got to win well. We've got to outplay Man United. We've got to win 2 or 3-0, because that's he's set himself a little bit of a bar there tonight, and he's got a lot of making up to do, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, it's always a tough one, mate. It's always a tough one. I mean, it's hard really right now to get focused on what we're trying to achieve. I think let's get to the nitty-gritty, mate. We're in a quarter-final. We're 2 games away from winning a cup, right? And I seen a tweet at halftime. Someone had said, at what point do West Ham realise that we can win this tournament, qualify for Europe, get a trophy under our belt, and play the rest of the season out the way it goes? Job done, really, in theory. Not job done, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah. Then you've got the kind of shackles off your neck. You can really be a bit more transparent. You can really try some things. Yeah. And what I didn't understand about tonight at all was that you're in a cup competition, so we played like we were trying to potentially draw the game, or but in a cup competition, it's knockout. So if it's knockout, the game's getting done tonight. So in one way or another, someone needs to do it. So I've obviously got my respect for David Moyes for what he's given West Ham. But nights like tonight are indefensible for any team that goes through that shit performance, and especially when 6,000 fans fucking turn up and we give that type of performance. Again, we have to look at individual performances, though. I mean, okay, first and foremost, let's look at the team selection. Ogbonna shouldn't be anywhere in the team, right? I'll put respect on the pass, but I should not be talking about Ogbonna with all due respects this year at all. But we are. I still can't believe that he is being included in the team for this game. I really, honestly would have preferred a youngster. And I think other managers would do that. I think they would do that rather than your kind of old school manager. But even Harry Redknapp at halftime, mate, he was like, West Ham have done nothing. So why are you not changing it? Why are you not changing it? We didn't change it at halftime. And I don't know why we didn't change it at halftime. What we did was we sat back. And I don't know if you heard what I said, mate, but within 5 minutes of the second half, Liverpool were averaging a shot and a corner per minute.
Yeah.
A shot and a corner per minute of the second half starting. Bang, just kicking off again. Go for it, mate.
No, it just doesn't surprise me. This it didn't really surprise me at all. Didn't surprise me. Didn't change it in the second half. This is the stuff. Nothing about this game surprised me. I'm past the point of getting angry at this point, because a big reason why is because when you do criticise Moyes, this is in the same thing. I heard the end of Dougy's call just before I come on. Respect Dougy for his opinion. What he's stating is facts. He has done very well for us as a manager, but when I think it's kind of maybe vice versa on that argument, but when the Moyes outs, call for him to go, the Moyes ins get defensive, and when the Moyes in crowd can, back him up, the Moyes outs get defensive, and it is very polarised in a minute. But that to me they were all over us, but in the same way that Fulham were all over us. There's a reason why we conceded 5 goals in both the games, and it's. I didn't expect anything from the game, but I didn't expect that. That was a different level. That was at least give it a go. You know what I mean? But it doesn't seem to. And it's not just in this game. This game highlights a lot of his flaws as a manager. I think he threw it tonight. I genuinely do think he threw it tonight. I think he thought.
Well, that's what's interesting, because the more I really think about it, the more that I watch West Ham played in this game. And when I listen to his pre-match chat, it kind of, apart from the illnesses, he's actually said, "I'm resting players."
Yeah.
Now, listen, listen. People can whatever. There definitely is illness within the club, right? But everyone's got it, and that's fine. So he quickly moved away from the illness from the couple of the players that have got it, and he moved on to the fact that he is resting players tonight. That's the part I don't get. So forget the illness part. Why are you resting? What was the need to rest Paqueta? What was the need to rest all the players that you rested? Why didn't Emerson? Why didn't Paqueta start the game? Why are you not switching up things? And why are you playing your eldest centre-back who's not played regular football at all? I seen you in the chat talking about Ben Johnson. Funny enough, apart from that, I thought you actually did all right in the game.
Yeah, brilliant game. People should be down in the comments. I don't care. I think
no,
one of the best players tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But the thing is, once West Ham capitulated, it didn't matter if you were having a good game or a bad game. Essentially, West Ham were just fucking shit anyway. But Ben Johnson was the only maybe tiny-ish fucking 0.001% spark we could have had from the game, and the Jared Bowen goal apart from that. But I just don't know why that we would go to a cup game and play like that. I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
It's a cup game, a league game. It's almost irrelevant for Moyes. I think he paints everything with the same bow. If you've got one of the top 6, there's a reason why he hasn't beaten the top 6 away. He's got too much respect for him. He doesn't like to, in a way, he almost puts us into a category. I think he likes us to stay in that category and only punch if he's allowed to. Look, I could be on here for ages saying all the things I've gotten tired of where Moyes is concerned. I thought I'd come on here tonight just to give you a bit of a thing, because I think Ben Johnson got it. I don't think it's fair. I think quite a few other players probably going to take this scruff. Most of his players aren't playing regularly, and he's just chucked them in the deep end in a game they didn't give a shit about. Basically, that's the crux of it. And when you've got a team like Liverpool who, they see it as being a trophy they want to win, because they're not going to get much luck this season with trophy wise and stuff like that, and they want to win the league and from that, they're going to go for it. But I find myself at this point that it's like there's only so many times you can say I want Moyes to go, because he clearly isn't going to go to the end of the season anyway, whatever happens. And the football pisses me off. His team selection pisses me off with a lot of times. But I give him praise for the last 2 games. I thought we played really well when the team selection was pretty much spot on. This time round, we played poorly. It was his team selection that he put out. It was his system that he put out. Most of the players were terrible. He didn't change around when he needed to. So I think he deserves criticism. I'm not going to give him abuse. I'm not going to say all the things that apparently people have been saying about him. But and the fans of the fans, it's just one of those things. It was one of those nights where you could tell from the start that it wasn't going to be our night, because that was by the plan. It was the plan for it not to be our night. Get out of this, get out of Liverpool, get back to the London Stadium, get Saturday in, and beat, or try to beat Man United. But I'm not in one bit. I'm surprised by the scoreline, but I'm not surprised by it as well, given the fact that that's how we played. But
to be honest, though, you're not surprised by it because you've seen the team lineup. I mean,
I've seen it before, mate. I've seen this, with all due respect. I've seen the team lineup. I've seen but this is rinse and repeat what we've been like a lot of the time for the last two seasons. It just happens to be it was a weaker team tonight in a bigger game. The only thing that does annoy me a little bit, if this had been like third or fourth round, kind of maybe taking it a bit, that's fine. But this is a quarter final, and if this geezer is as by reports of going, is that he's won the Conference League, he's got a taste for trophies, then you take the trophy seriously and you want to get as close as you can to it. So I think basically, to me, what he's done is he's seen us in the draw and gone, nah, we ain't going to beat Liverpool. I'm not even going to focus on Liverpool. So
yeah,
that's what he's done. Disappointing.
There's no ifs and buts about it. Defensively, we are pretty fucking shocking, mate. I'm just looking at some of the goals back, and do you know what? When I look at, I think Liverpool regained possession in their 18-yard box, and it was one pass through our defence for Salah to latch onto a goal. Curtis Jones, I think all game, mate, he was able to travel 70 yards half the time, unchallenged, unmarked. The question I'll ask to you, and I'll ask to everyone in this chat, is because of where West Ham are, right? So forgetting the performances that we're playing, because West Ham are 8th in the league and we're through to the last 16 in the Europa League, etc., right?
Yeah.
The Fulham game, what do you blame the Fulham game on when you look at how we played against Fulham and then how we won the next consecutive games after that? So I'm just going back to Fulham for a second. I'll come on to the game tonight, and then I'll ask you where I'm going with this. What do you blame Fulham on? And do you think there was some form of blame?
In what way do I think?
Well, do you think that was just a Moyes tactical horror show, or was that genuinely down to there was concerns with the virus kicking in and people were fatigued and stuff like that?
I might ask you actually, because you just said a minute ago that there definitely is a virus or an illness going around. So what was the virus / illness? Is it still lingering around the club?
Yeah, so that was announced today that.
But my point is that why was the virus not prevalent for the Freiburg game and for the Wolves game then? Why was it only prevalent for the last two games we've played 5-0 out of interest?
Well, no, I know, but again, I don't know. It's the way it works. If I'm not saying you are, but if you are insinuating that, could that be kind of setting up the tone for a lie for the fan base?
Actually, not a lie, but it's an easy excuse because what I'm saying is that it's fine to not bring that out prior to two games that we could win at home. And it's what I'm saying is convenient. It's convenient.
It can be convenient. You're right. No, absolutely. It definitely can be convenient. The only thing I'll say is that we're trying to get into science here, though, so we don't understand the rules of how viruses work. So, if I go by my family, sometimes I can be sick, and then for 3 days everyone will be all right.
Also, Anton, you're not a finely tuned athlete, mate. You're not someone who should. Realistically, if you're ill as an athlete, you're ill for 2 or 3 days max. You're not going to be ill a week later with the same thing because
listen, I'm sounding like I'm defending the sickness thing.
Well,
no, I'm not. I'm not defending. I can't defend that. I can't defend this. What we do know is that there is a sickness bug.
Right.
It's gone. It's came back. Apparently, that's just what happens. I suppose it's spread, whatever. But tonight, I can't blame that. I'm asking you about the Fulham game. What was the Fulham game? If we're so fucking bad against Fulham, why were we so different against Wolves?
Well, this is where I have to sort of, gauge up my Moyes criticisms and Moyes praisal, because to me, as people know, he's not very proactive during games and stuff like that. I'm possibly the most surprised fan of anyone the way we played against Freiburg and Wolves, because they were two games that probably one two of the best, apart from the Arsenal game at home as well, best games we've played this season, both for the way we played football, the way we took our goals and controlled the game, didn't really let them in. Fulham and Liverpool are complete opposites, and I've heard various things about coaches being involved, certain coaches being involved for certain games, and certain players playing certain roles and whatever. I'm trying as best I can not to kind of, let myself indulge in the conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it. But I'm against Moyes. I've been Moyes out for ages, but I will give him praise when he deserves it. Now, to me, games have to come down to managers. And if you're, for example, picking Creswell against Fulham, and he goes and does a stupid thing where he knocked the ball out and got a yellow card for it, and almost since then it was like after that we just capitulated as a team. Tonight he picked a second string team almost of players that probably don't even want to be here anymore, who aren't loved by the manager. They know that. He's made that very, very clear. And you're putting them out, against a team that we never do very well out. There's pressure on the club, not the players specifically, the club, because these players are probably going to go either in January or in the new year, so they're done anyway. And most of it has to come down to Moyes, but I don't buy into the. I'm sorry, I don't buy into the virus thing. I'm sorry, I really don't. It'd be convenient if it was just at East London. It hasn't affected any other London club.
No, but what I mean is, if we put that to the side, then what are you putting down the Fulham result to?
Well, Moyes. You have to.
What are you putting the Wolves result down to?
Moyes. This is what I'm saying to you.
Are we getting literally two fucking Jekyll and Hydes?
But okay, I'm gonna sound a little bit more. I'm more Moyes out than Moyes in because
go for it.
Because the Wolves, the way we've played all season, majority of the season, the Wolves performances and Freiburg performances don't match up to how we played all pretty much all season. There's been a few games here and there, but we won in 3, we won in 4 games, we'll play well, and then we'll be crap the rest of them. We had that segment where we were playing terrible, and then Souček saved us right at the end with 3 goals in 3 games, 3 winners. But there has to come a point where you sort of go, okay, if you get it right, you get it right. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong. You have to be criticised for it. But I think in both the games as well, you could in the Wolves game and the Freiburg game, they were strong teams to put out. In the Fulham game and this game, you could tell that right from the start there were question marks regarding starting 11. I prefer it. I would honestly prefer it if he come out and said we're in 4 competitions, we're trying to win 4 competitions, but we've got to try and which is basically doing, which is saying I'd rather concentrate on the Europa League in the league. Like, fair enough, say that. You know what I mean? But just be honest about it, which basically has, but he just hasn't said it in words. That the team put out, I said it all for me. But you have to put it down to the manager. You have to. I mean, this is the problem as well, is that you get with Moyes, the Moyes outs, including me at times. Well, when we say we've won the game, the players have won us the game, and when we lose or win, it's the players have lost us the game. Moyes hasn't had anything to do with it, so it has to go hand in hand. You have to have, not everyone does. I'm just going to choose to do it because it's personal preference in the day. People when you how can I put this? I'm trying to be really. I try to do balance.
Go for it, mate. Be your opinion. I'm trying to work out what it is that why we can capitulate the way we did against Fulham, why we didn't for the consecutive games after that, and why we did tonight. I'm trying to compute it in my little West Ham brain, because I don't understand it. The Fulham one. I'll be honest with you. At one point when Emerson was playing, I was like, he looks fucking shit. Not in terms of his ability. He looks like a piece of shit. Like he looked shit. He looked absolutely fatigued. Emerson against Fulham when he came on at halftime, and I was like, and I remember doing the watch log, and I was like, oh my god, he looks so fatigued, man. And that wasn't a word that Moyes used, but that was a word that we were led to believe that. We led to believe he had the sickness bug, and he did look at. He physically looked. He didn't look at the races, whatever. So then I thought, okay, well, if we are going to be shit, then I would expect us to have that now for the next couple of games. But we bounced back and we played pretty well, and suddenly, especially the social media opinion was going, suddenly Moyes has fucking listened to us and is now playing a little bit more flamboyant style. Then bang, tonight it kicks back in again, and I'm trying to get my head around it because I'm thinking to myself, look, it's a fucking quarter final, mate, of the Carabao Cup, and we should be doing better than that.
I can understand if we'd played well all season, like played how we did against Freiburg and against Wolves, and then this virus struck, and then we lost 5-0 to Fulham, and then we recovered a little bit and won 2 games, and then the virus struck again, and then we had Liverpool tonight, and we then I can make it. Then they'll go, okay, do you know what, this virus? Someone needs to get in there with some COVID masks and spray sanitizer everywhere and get this shit on lock because this virus is killing us. That would make that would be fine. But tonight was like how we've played for majority of the time last sort of year and a half. So it just made it worse. It made it worse the fact that he didn't pick the right players, because if you're fit to come on at 60 minutes like Paqueta and JWP and all the rest of them, then start them from the start. Then put them in. Give the cup a go. So yeah, I get the gist that you're putting it down to the virus, which is
no, I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm trying to actually compute it. I'm really not.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. I after the game against Fulham, I was like, whoa, fucking hell, man, that was shit. I expected that performance then against Freiburg. I expected that against Wolves, and I never got it. We never got it. We got a better performance all round, and I thought, okay, then maybe it was the virus. Then when I heard Moyes in his pre-match, I seen the team selection. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go again. As probably did every single West Ham fan looking at the game. Because today in the chat, we were talking about it, and I said, no way you can put fucking Ogbonna near that team. Like, you cannot put Ogbonna in this team. As soon as you see Ogbonna in the team, I'm not blaming it on one person, but you just know we don't have the legs. I think we know there's a calamity in Ogbonna. I also think there's a calamity in Mavropanos. And games like today is an opportunity for players to step up, and they're not stepping up as well. So as much as we can talk about tactics and we can and they can hold the leash on, there's an element that the players have to take a bit of blame for this as well. The only player I feel that can take some form of credit from tonight would be Ben Johnson, but that's it.
Let's have a look at it right realistically. Right, it's fine to say that the players have to take a level of blame, because they always do. Whether we win or whether we're shit, they're going to take praise and criticism, same as the manager, right? But you've got Areola in goal, who's just come back from being out for 2 or 3 games. Probably had his ego bruised a little bit by being put into the Carabao Cup rather than Fabianski, and the roles were getting reversed again. So foul. You can see actually that Kudus is getting fed up playing with him, because they're not on the same wavelength. They can't keep up with each other. He can't keep up with Kudus' brain. Mavropanos, I do like Mavropanos, but he's a bit of an Aguirre. He looks a bit dodgy on the ball, and he can make a mistake. He's then playing alongside Ogbonna, who hasn't been great at all this season. I think he's showing his age, and he's probably closer to retirement. He was a lot better last season. Then you've got Johnson, who's having contract negotiation, getting no closer to it, 160 grand a week. Apparently his ego's out of control. I praised him tonight, but fundamentally you're putting a guy in there that doesn't ever get played, and suddenly he's being chucked into Liverpool way in a Carabao quarter final and expected to play at the top of his game. You've got Alvarez, who's ever reliable in that team. Souček, who is ridiculously poor. Now we're becoming more of a technical team all of a sudden. He's completely useless. To me, he is anyway. You've then got, who else was there? There's Ben Rama at Fornals. He's doesn't know if he's coming or going. Gets 5 minutes here max in some games or whatever. Ben Rama's lost any ability that he once had for West Ham. His whole enthusiasm has been tanked. What have you. Then you've got Kudus and Bowen, who are basically being relied upon to make the attacks work, and that was fine if we used the counter attacks properly to our ability. But another thing is, I don't know if anyone. This is a side note, right? When you watch our games, we must be the slowest passers in the league. When we pass the ball, it takes an age to get to the one of the player that they're passing to. I don't know if anyone else has caught up on that. But to put your strongest foot forward, you have to put your best team forward. Not just saying, the people who are the better players, but certainly the players who are playing regularly in the team. They're not being kept out and whatever, and everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet, but they're not. So when you drop players, or when you have players that you can't play, and suddenly you have to rely on the players that don't play regularly, you can't exactly expect them to suddenly go, I'm playing for West Ham, I represent this club, I'm going to do my best on the field every time I go out on there. You're not going to get that. So if he's put out that team, whether it's because of the virus or because he's dropping players or whatever, right? And if he's putting that team out, then he either has to change it at half time when it's clearly not working, which he didn't, or something else has to change. So the players do have to take a level of criticism, but also obviously like praise, like they would if you won the game. But at the same time, the manager has to take it as well. But it's again, Souček hasn't been affected by this virus, which is very, very convenient again for him. So all I'm hoping is that we've lost this game for a reason. This game is in the plan, in the whiteboard he's got in the changing room, and he's got all these mocked win here, lost there, draw there, whatever. And when it comes to Saturday against Man United and the next game after that, we bulldoze them. We go in for 2 or 3-0. We play them off the park. We make sure that we go to the plan, because if he's gonna sell this game, he better make up for it in the next few, and then we'll find out how good a manager he is.
No, it's fine, mate. No, it's fine. It's quite interesting because I've got something else on in the background, and I can see people commenting on the other show, and they're fucking trying to dig me out, and I can't be arsed with that. And that's the whole point of. I understand people have got opinions, and I'm really strong, and I'm fucking always going to be strong, so I'm not bothered about that. I've got my own opinion, and what I don't understand is I obviously don't put my point across really well, because people seem to be really fucking stupid when it comes to me and West Ham, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm like, I'm not saying I'm not Moyes out. I'm just not also saying I'm Moyes in. It might be sitting on the fence, but I want to know when that discussion happens, who's the person's coming in, and I'm not ready to make that jump yet, because I don't see the person. No one's made a good judge of character for me to prove that the next manager's in. Michael Carrick, is he going to come in and change it all round? I don't know how to put my point across, but the question, look, I want to ask to you is, like, if we were to change manager, it's becoming a fucking Moyes in debate, and I don't want it to be like that, because it's about
it's inevitable, mate.
It's inevitable, mate, but it's about the fucking 6,000 fans that travelled to watch West Ham in a quarterfinal. We watched the game in a quarterfinal, and try and get a chance to go and win another trophy, and we've been let down dramatically tonight. But the way that things have gone on social media, it's just the fucking Moyes in and Moyes out chat. So inevitably, we're going to have to talk about it. So look, the question I'll ask to you is, on that basis, that question, let's just say, if we're talking, we bring Michael Carrick in. Do you think he is going to change it? Is that what the fan, in your opinion, a lot of the Moyes out fans are thinking is going to happen? Like, it's going to change. It's going to change overnight. We're going to have this flamboyant style, like, or we run the risk of, like, will we create more opportunities, but we'll concede loads? Like, will we lose the element of consolidation? People don't want, obviously, consolidation. So, have our expectations been risen in the last 3 years? And Andrew, I'm not saying I want Carrick. I'm using him as an example.
Look, I've been. I'll just say it again. Fuck it, I'll have to go through it all again. But this is what, when you have to hark back to Allardyce, because this is when he first walked in. They said to Allardyce in the press conference, "Are you going to play the West Ham way?" And he laughed at it. He went, "West Ham way? What's that? Losing?" Because he said, "Oh no, playing good football." He said, "Well, what do you want to do? Play good football and lose?" Which is what West Ham have been doing for years and years. So there's an element of, West Ham have never known the combination to a degree consistently of playing well and winning, right? So people aren't used to that from the old guard to the new guard. No one's used to that, right? Now, if you would say to me that Jose Mourinho was going to come in and do his low block every game, no differentiating that, and win us all competitions, I don't think I'd want that. I don't think I'd want us to win Champions League and Premier League that way, because to me, that is still in my soul. So for me, my whole thing with Moyes is I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed in him, because of when he first joined, we played fantastic football, we were winning games, right? And since then, he's consolidated something. His whole ethos and mentality has gone backwards. So almost like he's like, oh, well, we should appreciate where we are. when he first turned up, he wasn't having that. He was like, no, we're going to raise the bar, we're going to raise the level, we're going to put West Ham on a stratosphere they haven't been on for years. So he changed the whole. If you're honest, he's a victim of his own success because now it's going against him. Now we're not playing particularly well. And we're not even winning that much anymore. Yes, okay, we're ninth for the league. We've picked it up in the last few games, and that's fine. But fundamentally, if you're going to watch this football, this counter-attacking, this the majority of the time, the players are in our own half, and you got to win. That if that is your idea of getting the result, no matter what, then you have to win. You have to put it through. If we get a new manager in, he's got to be someone who will take on the challenge of playing better progressive football, mainly because the players we have in the team now are better progressive players. They're not cut out for the counter-attacking game. They're not cut out for doing all that for 90 minutes and trying to hold on to leads. Now, what that surprises me the last two games with Wolves and Freiburg, because we played that brilliantly, and it was like finally he's starting to listen, or finally he's starting to change his mind and realise that these players are capable of it. And tonight he just completely went backwards with A, the team selection, and B, the way we played. Now, if Moyes goes, I'm not gonna, I never would have picked Kudus out to play for West Ham. I would never picked Alvarez to pick out. I would never picked a few other players that have come through. JW Pre, I know he's a Moyes signing, but I would trust that Steidem would know who to bring in, because fundamentally we didn't think Moyes was going to do this for us. We didn't think Moyes was going to win a trophy for us. We didn't think Moyes was going to get us to Europe 3 years in a row. So everyone can sit there and go, if Moyes goes, who else? Thinking, hold on, who wanted Moyes back the second time round? There were some people, but did you think that Moyes was going to do this for us? Moyes come in and saved us from relegation. That was it. So there was no precedent to say that Moyes was going to achieve this for us. So there's no reason why someone else can't and do the same, if not better. And you've got games like tonight where I think a lot of managers they wouldn't have thrown this. You've got a League Cup quarter final. At least don't play like this. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot of his personal preference, Anton, is that where one person likes to go going just to see the result, another person goes to see good football. That's just that. It's quite interesting because Sean Dyche was on a podcast ages ago, and he reckons when he blitzed the Championship with Burnley and got him up for his first season or whatever it was, he was at an awards ceremony and there was a guy that came up to him and goes, "Just want to say thank you for everything you've done for the club," but he went, "Hold on, but," he said, "Yeah, but why don't you put two men on the post at corners?" So it was like, even though they've blitzed the whole season, it was the one thing that this bloke wanted to say to him was a negative out of all the positive. So you're always going to get something or another. No one's ever going to be completely happy. But this is another thing as well, Anton, is that we've been put on a high for the last two games, playing brilliant football. We've won both games. We haven't conceded a goal. There's literally been almost nothing to moan about. And you get put on that high horse, and then suddenly, bang, brought back down to reality, and it's like, where the fuck did that come from? But why are we again going one step forward, two steps back? Because we were finally having a good cup run, and what the media will say in the season, "Oh well, he got you a quarter final. You should be happy with that." That's the level of where you have to have your debates and arguments with other people. But
look, I'm not going to lie to you, mate. I don't think I'd go on any longer because fucking. Honestly, mate, the amount of shit I've been sent is outrageous.
I'll back you up. I'll back you up.
No, I'm not meaning it like that. I don't need to be. It's not like that. I'm not like I don't get.
You get abuse. You get people sending you.
No, I don't mind. Yeah, no, I don't mind it. I genuinely don't mind it. It's just it's more about. I don't think people actually understand the point I'm trying to say.
Right.
And that's it. Maybe I don't put my point across well, but
no, I think.
To be honest, this is coming from a place of West Ham being beat more than.
Right.
The comments coming in, I'm actually deflated. Yeah, no, you're fucking deflated. Anyone's deflated. The one thing I've said to you guys on the West Ham network that I can't do is I can't. So if anyone watches this channel and watches me when West Ham lose, I'm angry, I'm annoyed, but I do it differently. I don't air my angry, annoyed view on screen because I deal with that shit differently than other people. Now, if I'm not digging out any other channel by no means, right? But let's just use Arsenal Fan TV as an example of bringing people on to fucking rant. That's very entertaining, and I get that, but I don't do that. So I'm not going to do it, and that's not what people necessarily want to watch. So there's literally no point in me being on here because I'm just fucking depressed about it. And that's just the way I deal with it, and it's not great, and that's just the shit happens, doesn't it?
Mate, you do well with this channel. When I say to anyone else is that to do this all the time, it takes time, energy, and patience. And if you're getting any abuse, mate, or anything on them lines, then it ain't on. There's nothing wrong. I'd say to a level you're sitting on the fence where Moyes is concerned. Should we say that? Should we?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I've said all along, I'm ready for Moyes to go when the right man comes in.
I know again. I'm just trying to.
So that classifies sitting on the fence than sitting on the fence, but I respect him. But if obviously, like any other football club, if the right person comes along, of course they're going to jump ship. Yeah. But right now, I mean, there was a while ago, a lot of people were calling Will Still as the next West Ham manager.
As I was.
And now I know, but I'm just saying he's currently linked to Sunderland. Yeah. And for people in the chat that are trying to say to me, I'm not necessarily, I can't explain it. I can't explain it. Like, I'm not annoyed. Like, that doesn't offend me anymore. I genuinely mean that. Like, I don't get offended by the negative press that you will get from doing these things. I may have done 5-6 years ago. I really, really genuinely don't. You become quite a strong character from doing this. So I'm totally fine with that. This is coming from a place of just being fed up of West Ham losing. And in actual fact, thinking about fuck, if I'd have taken Freddie to the game. I mean, look, you never heard, but right at the start of the game, Freddie kept saying to me, Elliot, Dad, he's trying to score. He's trying to score. He's 7 years old, mate. And he's already picked up on the fact that Liverpool players trying to score a goal. You couldn't say that. Yeah. But that was genuine. It was genuine, raw, like conversational stuff from a 7-year-old to his 4-year-old dad. And he said, Elliot's trying to score. And I was like, when he said it, I was like, fucking hell, mate. I was like, holy shit, he's totally right. Like, they're trying, we're not. So they were peppering our goal, but they weren't hitting a lot on target. But they saw very early on, if we peppered our goal, eventually we're just going to put some balls in the back of the net. No, by any means necessary. Because they're not going to come at us. They're playing the low block. All we'll do is go at them.
I thought that as well. I must admit, I thought this will be Moyes' way of going, look, you can't play that sort of football because they're going up. But by that point, we were losing pretty heavily. We haven't played well all the time. It was the one time we got kind of, a goal back and suddenly got our backs up. But we've left it too long by then because by then we were 3-0 down and 4-1 down. And it was like, there's a level on where there's a certain demographic of people who said, I don't care if you lose 10-0, as long as you try and give it a go. Because odds are we're going to lose this game anyway. We're away to Liverpool in the League Cup. The odds are against us as it is. So the best thing we can do is take the game to them rather than them take the game to us. And that's the problem. And that's a lot of people get the gripes out about the way this team is set up. We're designed to fear the opposition, respect them too much rather than go at them. I'm not gonna try and highlight a team that's not to do with us, but I kind of follow Cambridge United, and they sacked their manager because he was a bit of a Moyes. In post-match comments, he was a bit of a Moyes where he would talk more about the opposition, how good they were, rather than how good Cambridge were or whatever like that. And since they've had a new manager, the comments in the social media posts is that it's nice to see us take the game to other teams, and they're winning as well. And I'm not trying to compare a Premier League team that's in Europe to a League One team, but there is a level of which I've realised now that I actually want to see. I don't care if we're going to lose 5-0, 10-0, but when you're putting out a team like that and going, you might as well go and score 5-10 goals because we're not trying to score. In that for the Sundays, it does grate you. So there's a way to lose, and feel like you've won the game, if you get what I mean, because that is the total opposite, and it will get to people. People will get annoyed. I think there's another reason people have had enough as well, because I think that okay, we lost 2 games, but it was a surprise to play that way and to win that way against Wolves and Freiburg. And that's the worst thing about it, is because we should be looking like, no, every game we take it to them, but we normally don't. So it's just difficult.
It is what it is, mate. It is what it is. Listen, at 11 o'clock tonight, you'll be joined for a more in-depth review coming from Budgie and Kieran. Look, if you want to join them, you're more than welcome to join them.
I think I've had my bit, mate. I've got things to do before I go to bed. So I've got to jump on here. basically defend Ben Johnson. That was what I was coming on.
Don't blame me, mate. Thank you for watching, everyone, in the Matchday Live highlights review. There's been plenty of you around, so thank you very much. Take it easy, and I was going to say we'll do the reaction, whatever you call it, the player ratings tomorrow, but I doubt Russ will do the player ratings tomorrow. At the end of the day, we'll West Ham till we die, as Hustle Crow has said. Looky Boy, thank you for joining us, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Take it easy, and yeah, come on, you irons, everyone.